Stubborn Wells, The Journey, Part 1, a Tim Mullen's review. Randy, your first experience with Tim?
Yeah, it was.
I've heard people talk a lot about him, but this will be the first time I've ever heard Tim himself.
Yeah.
Watch to the end to find out what we think. Oh, that's a great lead-in, wasn't it? That's how you keep people engaged.
Suspense, right?
Tim opens up with some wild-ass wild card telling pixels and all this. I'm not in love with your editing, Tim.
No, me either.
Production value, I'm just going to say, I found it, what do you give him, Brandy? Grade level. A, B, C, or D?
C. Not horrible, but
C
not
neg,
great.
C minus.
You can tell he's used a camera before, but not for probably filming like what he was doing.
If you want to call yourself a media manager, that media should be tight.
Yeah, got a good point there. It wasn't tight, in my opinion.
No, it was not tight. It was loose, if anything.
Very loose. Yep.
Loose. Loosey-goosey Timo. Somehow, he starts ranting about Davy Crockett and settlers, and I'm like, damn, you starting the journey awful far back, ain't you? How we getting to the Alamo from Ben Hill, Tim Mullen?
We didn't know what was yet to come, right?
Or worse. And me and Randy, we're like sitting here, and this went on long enough, so I'm like, are we on the wrong shit?
Is this history of
What is this? What
Ben
is this?
Hill in Tennessee? I thought it was a history lesson or something.
It was wild. It was like this was nothing about nothing. His journey. He was talking about showing maps of this area, not where Ben Hill was, just this random ass area.
Walking around.
I don't know. Then we start getting a feel that he's sprinkling in talk about
The Summers case.
the summer angle. And the first inkling we get is he starts talking about how kids love puppies and kittens and horses. I mean, he even does voices kind of with them, talking about, and to me and Brady, we both got the feel, though he never said this, he was insinuating Summer could have been lured away by somebody with a kitten or something.
Yeah.
Like, I felt it was a subliminal hint.
But it's right in the middle of like a history
Lesson.
Yeah, it was weird how he placed it.
Like I said, that it's E and you give him a C. I'm gonna go D because that just didn't tie in at no point to nothing.
He was talking how bad the area is, like how remote and like I guess full of trees and hills and mountains, and how hard it would be for her to get lost or run off. He's leaning, what I felt, he was leaning more of a abduction or somebody talked her into maybe getting in their vehicle with a puppy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking is where he was living. You can cut that out. It was out of the blue though, how he said it.
Then me and Brandy started to notice something. I feel like he's trying to make this a movie or something.
Yeah, me too.
He gets into, he drops us a line, and it was hilarious. He says, out at Ben Hill, he had the odd feeling as he looked down to a creek, and it was small. It felt Shakespearean.
I thought we were in the theater getting a show.
He went from documentary mode to Days of Our Lives. This was odd throughout. He drops us a clue about when he actually first went to Ben Hill Road. A week after Summer's disappearance, Tim was at Ben Hill. Fits that out in between a lot of nonsense. He says, as I look across the fields, they were in their first cut of hay. The hay that they would later use to feed their farm animals. Then he says the weird shit, and I quote, running over a kid with a grass cutter is not exactly what you'd want to happen. Not exactly.
I was very confused when he said that. I'm like, what is he talking about?
He was talking about how the searchers, they were cutting the grass behind them in this one spot for parking and stuff to set up.
Oh, yeah.
And they were on a four-wheeler making sure, searching the grass in front of the grass cutter. But the way he said that was just so weird. Well, running over a kid with a grass cutter ain't exactly what you'd want to happen.
There's no duh.
Then he goes back to this other history lesson, right? And it's basically slamming Native Americans, in my opinion.
It was, yeah. He talked a lot about the Native Americans and the Cherokee Indians.
Then he brings up a certain Native American dragging canoe.
DC, right? That was his name. He nicknamed him DC for short.
Then as he's telling the story of dragging canoe, he shortens it up for us and refers to him as DC.
DC.
And he slams DC, and it seems like he really had hatred for the Native Americans that rebelled against the colonists taking their land.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Like, he didn't like the ones that fought back.
Mm-mm.
He's like, there's the only ones you ever hear of. Like, he was against them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Goes on to slam Dragon Canoe like they're tight, calling him DC. This dude really come off as... I don't know what it is. If you're against a certain group, is it?
Yeah, I think
It come off as racist as hell to me. With his attitude toward the Native Americans, he act like we did them a favor by bringing them industry and civilization, and he acts like it's really odd, and it's really obvious when you watch it, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
While he's talking his rhetoric, Tim says, it's always unfortunate. Change is hard. Now he's back on some rant about the Explorer de Soto and the Pilgrims and
something else now. Yeah.
no clue what this is all about.
Mm-mm.
He brings up the fact that the English brought back diseases that wiped out a lot of the Native Americans. He didn't seem sorry about it. All of a sudden, we're back to Ben Hill and Beach Creek.
Yeah, he do a history lesson, then a little bit of
Very
summer
little.
story. Very little. Talk about very little.
No sooner than we're back to Beach Creek, we're back to Ben Hill Mountain or something.
Mm-hmm.
Craziness. He's giving us a lesson of where he's at, which is not where the story should be at. He's telling us about the mountain and how something looks like a volcano and this and that. And he's talking about, and the mountain is lush with their greenery at this time.
I think he was in the drama club maybe in high school. There was a little drama in there.
Burn. Now we've gotten into biblical history. He starts talking about Mount Sinai and Moses. Then he goes on to talk about what he basically is saying, telling us is, none of us, we don't know Don Wells. We know drunk Don Wells.
Yeah.
That's all any of us know. The
Don't
real
know
Don,
the true one.
straight up 100% great dude, right?
Yeah.
We know Don's track record. Then he's like, if you need to find stuff out, need to learn stuff, go to Wikipedia. Dude, you know Wikipedia can be altered by anything. Anybody, right?
Yeah, in college we cannot use that as a source because it could be edited by me, you, anyone.
How does a media manager not know Wikipedia is not where you go for source material? I need to start writing shit on Wikipedia and making Tim think all kinds of crazy stuff, if that's where he's sourcing his material.
I thought everybody knew that,
I thought that was the big joke,
I bet you guys knew that, right?
Did y'all know that? If you didn't,
You think he's been getting some of his info from Wikipedia?
maybe that's why half y'all's confused. Y'all on Wikipedia all the time thinking shit's fact. No, anybody can alter Wikipedia. I can change the future in Wikipedia.
You think that's where he's getting his history about the Cherokees and stuff from?
Maybe. I hope he ain't writing it, or he's really going to make it bad for the Native American people as he comes off.
Yeah, I hope Dragon Canoe's a real person. That's what I was thinking.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying,
No.
in my opinion, that's the way his thinking comes off.
Yeah.
When it comes to not seeing them as, they were basically victims of an outside invading force coming in and taking their land from them. He acts like we did him a favor.
Mm-hmm.
He talks a little bit and he says, you know what, I don't even know if I'm going to share video. Apparently he did.
Yep.
Because we're watching. I love it when people do that,
Yeah.
I've heard that in quite a few videos. I don't know if this will ever even make the air.
Yeah, I have to.
Throughout this, he's showing pictures of Ben Hill, like during the time of the search and stuff, with his tattoo on it, so nobody could copyright him, or so he can keep anybody from using his work, I suppose.
Figured out how to do that.
Yeah, that's one thing you get, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Then he starts really going over the interstate layout of the area.
Which was weird.
Which is, it's a known fact that it's a trafficking hotspot. But I felt like he's trying to slide this in subliminally to add to his abductor theory.
I agree too, yeah.
Tim mentions during this search area period, right?
Right.
That he was passed on a few tips himself about things he'd observed. He has...
Insider.
Yes. What kind of info you reckon he had?
I don't know.
Anything good?
He didn't want to share it with us. He didn't say anything.
But see, it's weird because I get the idea, whatever it was he was sharing was before he even met the Wells.
Yeah, it was. He was coming through the area.
What did he see during the searching and stuff that he found tip-worthy, right?
Right.
Sounds like some bullshit.
Yeah.
In his video, some of this video he's showing pictures, some of it he's showing the area he's in. He's just filming, walking around. Some random place. He zones in on a sign that's about social distancing. I want to spread the word. Keep it 6 foot apart, y'all. Give some random directions again about the area he's in and how you get to Ben Hill from there. He mentions there in the area where he's at. Planetarium there. Top notch. Ultra 4K.
Y'all should check it out.
Good to know. Then he kind of talks about, well, this is day one of my experience at Ben Hill. Think about it.
There's more to come.
You know, my takeaway from this, one of them is, Tim, everybody is invited to watch this. This thing had 11,000 views. A lot of people seen. But I get he has some kind of personality trait that's off or something with the way he sees the whole thing of the colonists and the Native Americans. Seems really weird, does it not?
Yeah, how he talks about them, yeah.
I felt throughout it seemed like he was trying to drop little subliminal hints about things.
I agree.
To me and Brandy, it felt like he was laying it out that she was lured away,
taken,
and
maybe got out.
The interstate is how they were able to get out of the area, and
that's what I was going to say. Yep.
It really felt like he was subliminally, because he talked so little about Summer's stuff, Summer's story, but the parts he did, he seemed like that's what the feeling you would get.
Yeah.
I really feel like he was trying, and maybe that was the whole point of talking about that other random stuff so much, was so the few points that he did get across would give you the subliminal feel of that could have happened, right?
That's how it came across for me. Also, he kept on saying Don loves God, and kind of like you have to forgive him because he just acts so different when he drinks. Didn't he say that a couple times?
Yeah, he was image helping Don, for sure.
This definitely helped his storyline, and it's the same kind of storyline that Don and Candace has of what happened to Summer, probably.
He's trying to set up their story.